My German Shepherd Luna had never growled at me in 7 years. Not once. Not when I stepped on her tail by accident, not when I forgot her dinner, and not even during thunderstorms when she was scared. But on that Tuesday morning in March, she stood firmly against my bedroom door, teeth exposed, blocking my way out as if keeping me inside was essential. 2 hours later, my boss Derek called, crying so hard he struggled to speak. Marcus, everyone who came in today is dead. 23 people. They're just sitting at their desks. My legs felt weak. What do you mean dead? How? I asked. His voice dropped, quiet and strained. They looked like they were sleeping, but their eyes were completely white. My name is Marcus Rivera. I'm 32, and I work as a software engineer at a tech startup in Denver. The one who saved my life that day wasn't human. It was my 7-year-old dog, Luna. And the person who died in my place was my younger sister, Sophia. Before I explain what happened, subscribe if you want more true stories that remind you how much pets matter, and comment where you're watching from. This story made national headlines. For the past 4 years, my alarm had gone off at 5:30 every morning. Luna was always awake before me, sitting beside my bed with her tail moving, ready for our routine. Coffee, her breakfast, a short walk, then my shower and drive to work. Luna loved routine as much as I did. That Tuesday was meant to be the most important day of my career. Our startup was launching a major app we had spent 2 years building. My sister Sophia helped me get the job when I was unemployed. She worked as the office manager and essentially kept the company running while our CEO, Derek, handled investors. Sophia was 28, 2 years younger than me, but she had always been the responsible one. She bought a house at 25 while I was still learning basic chores. Don't forget about tomorrow's meeting, Sophia texted late Monday night. 8 a.m. sharp. Derek's announcing equity packages. This could change everything, Mark. I replied, I'll be there. Want me to pick you up? She said no. She'd drive, needing to arrive early to prepare the conference room. But don't be late. I've been recommending you to Derek for months. That was Sophia, always supporting me, guiding me, and helping our family. When our dad had a heart attack 3 years earlier, she managed everything while I froze. When our mom downsized her apartment, Sophia coordinated the move, and I only showed up to lift boxes. But that morning, something felt wrong the moment I woke up at around 4 a.m. Not from my alarm, but because Luna was pawing at me, whining in a way I'd never heard. It wasn't her usual signals for going outside or wanting food. It sounded urgent. What's wrong, girl? I asked. She ran to the bedroom door, then back to me, repeating it until I followed her into the living room. I checked the windows. Nothing. I opened the back door, thinking she needed to go out, but she refused. Instead, she tugged my pajama sleeve and pulled me away from the exit. I checked her for injuries, but she seemed fine, just tense, constantly sniffing the air like she was sensing something. I tried returning to bed, but she jumped onto it, something she never did, and stayed between me and the door. Each time I moved, she used her head to push me back. When my alarm went off at 5:30, I assumed she'd calm down. I stood to get ready, but she immediately blocked me again, standing firm. Come on, Luna, I need to get to work. She wouldn't move. When I tried to go around her, she matched my steps. Under other circumstances, it would have made me laugh, but her expression kept me serious. She looked genuinely afraid. I grabbed clothes from the closet while she watched every motion. But when I reached for my laptop bag, she reacted. A deep growl came from her chest. This wasn't playful or a warning. It was instinctive. Luna, I said firmly, what is going on? She stood directly in front of the door, muscles tight, lips pulled back. This wasn't the friendly dog who tolerated kids tugging her ears. This was a protector who had made a decision. I wasn't leaving. I checked the time, 6:45. If I didn't leave soon, I'd hit traffic and be late for a critical meeting. Sophia would be upset, Derek might fire me, and 2 years of long weeks would mean nothing. Move, I ordered. She didn't. She pressed harder against the door. My phone rang. Sophia's photo appeared, the one from Christmas with the elf hat our mom insisted she wear. Mark, please tell me you're in your car, she said immediately. Sophia, something's wrong with Luna. She won't let me leave. Are you serious? That sounds like the old excuse of a dog eating homework. I'm not kidding. She's acting completely off. She's growling at me. Then put her in the bathroom and get to work. Derek wants you there. This is important, not just for you, but for both of us. I understood her frustration. She had taken risks to help me get this job, defended me when I lacked experience, and supported me through my early mistakes. And now, on the day everything mattered, I sounded unreliable. "Give me 10 minutes," I said. "I'll figure something out." "You have 5," she said, then hung up. I looked at Luna. She stared back, steady and focused. I recognized the look from one other moment, when a dog at the park once charged at me, and she stepped in protectively. I suddenly remembered something unusual from the night before. A sweet metallic smell in the hallway of my building, like sugar mixed with pennies. I thought someone spilled something, but now Luna was sniffing the air in that same intense way. My phone buzzed again. A text from Sophia. "I'm driving to your apartment right now. You better be dressed." 5 minutes later, I heard her car pull up outside. I heard the familiar rattle of Sophia's old Honda as she parked. She had the money for a new car but refused to replace it, always saying, "It still works fine. Why spend more?" The moment her footsteps reached the stairs, Luna reacted intensely. She wasn't just barking. She was throwing herself at the door, scraping at it like she was trying to break through. The sound she made when Sophia knocked wasn't a normal bark. It shifted into something between a howl and a strained cry. She slammed her 90-pound body into the door hard enough that the picture frames on my walls shook. She no longer seemed like the calm dog I knew. She seemed driven by instinct. "Marcus, open the door right now." Sophia said, irritated. "I hear Luna. Just grab her collar and move her. We don't have time for this." She knocked harder, and Luna responded in the same pattern, scratching until small wood shavings gathered on the floor. When I grabbed Luna's collar to pull her back, she quickly turned toward me. Her teeth were close enough to graze my hand, foam gathering at her mouth, but she didn't bite. She held still, trembling and focused entirely on me. That's when I understood. She wasn't threatening me. She was trying to warn me. "That's it. I'm using my key," Sophia said. I heard her sorting through her keychain, the one I'd given her for emergencies. Luna reacted immediately, lunging at the door handle and hitting the deadbolt with her paw, locking it just as Sophia tried to turn her key. "Seriously? Did you just lock me out? Are you kidding me?" Her voice hurt in a way I didn't expect. She thought I was choosing my dog over her, over my job, over everything she'd helped me achieve. My phone rang right after. I knew it was her. I picked up, trying to keep steady while Luna stayed in front of the door. "Sophia, something is really wrong. She has never acted like this. Maybe she's sick or something is affecting her." Sophia didn't answer for a moment, then let out a long breath. "Marcus, listen to yourself. Your healthy dog suddenly loses it on the morning of your biggest meeting? You're just overwhelmed. I understand. This is major money. Don't use Luna to avoid it." She misread the situation, but I understood why. I'd used excuses in the past. When Dad had his heart attack, I lied about a childhood fear of hospitals. When our grandmother died, I skipped the funeral and claimed a fake work emergency. Sophia protected me both times, but this situation wasn't one of those moments. "Look through your peephole," she said, calmer now. "It's me. I'm just trying to help." I looked. She was standing there in her blazer, her hair pulled back the same way she wore it in high school. She held up her phone and waved, trying to smile. Luna sensed me move toward the door and immediately blocked me again. When I reached for the handle anyway, she did something I wasn't prepared for. She pressed both paws against my chest and pushed me away. Then she let out a quiet, strained whine. Her ears were flat, and her entire posture signaled that something outside wasn't safe. "You know what? Fine," Sophia said, her voice cracking. "I've spent 2 years making sure you didn't fall behind at this job. I covered your mistakes, your missed deadlines, every time you froze during presentations. And this is what I get? You skipping the one day that mattered?" I heard her walking away. Each step felt heavier than the last. "When Derek fires you, don't call me. When rent is due, don't call me. I'm done being your safety net." Her car door shut, the engine rattled, and she drove off. As she left, Luna finally eased up, though she stayed close to the door. She looked up at me with her usual brown-eyed focus, and this time her expression seemed mixed with relief. But guilt washed over me. What had I just done? I stood still for a full minute after her car left. My hand rested on the doorknob while I weighed going after her or trusting Luna's reaction. Luna backed away from the door but stayed near me, watching every small motion. She no longer looked tense in the same way, more like she was relieved I had listened. That's when I made the choice that would help me and haunt me. I decided to trust my dog. I called Derek's direct line, expecting his usual fast response. He was someone who never ignored a call, even on his wedding day. But he didn't answer. It rang several times, then went to voicemail. "Hey, Derek, it's Marcus. I'm dealing with a medical issue and can't make it in. I'll join remotely and have my part of the presentation ready. Sorry about the timing." The lie felt comfortable, but I couldn't explain the truth. I had already damaged my relationship with Sophia. I opened my laptop and checked our company Slack, expecting to see the usual flood of messages, especially on launch day. But everything was quiet. The most recent message was Sophia's from 7:45 a.m., saying the conference room was ready and she'd see everyone in 15 minutes. Nothing came after that. I checked other channels and DMs. Everything stopped at 8 a.m. My stomach tightened. This wasn't normal. Even in meetings, someone always posted something. Our junior developer, Tommy, constantly shared updates online. Our designer, Rachel, posted on Instagram every few minutes. But all of it stopped at the same time. Luna walked over, rested her head on my lap, and stayed close. She was still alert, but calmer now that I wasn't going near the door. I scratched behind her ears while pulling up our building security dashboard. As a senior engineer, I had access to the camera feeds for testing our door sensor system. I'd never used the system for real monitoring before, but something pushed me to log in and open the live feeds. The parking lot camera showed every familiar car, including Sophia's Honda in her normal spot near the entrance. Derek's Tesla sat in the CEO space. Everyone had arrived, yet the front door feed, where Jake, our receptionist, should have been, showed an empty lobby. Jake never left his station. He once bragged about going 6 hours without a bathroom break. I cycled through more cameras. The kitchen was empty. The ping-pong table in the break room wasn't being used. The open office floor, where 23 people should have been preparing for the launch, was completely still. My hands started shaking as I grabbed my phone and texted Sophia. "Hey, is everything okay there? The office looks empty on the cameras." The message delivered but didn't mark as read. I tried Tommy, Rachel, and Jake. Same result. They always stayed glued to their phones. Tommy had once replied to a text in the shower. All of them going silent at once didn't make sense unless something was seriously wrong. I stood up to move, and Luna instantly blocked me from the door again. "It's okay, girl," I said, unsure if I was reassuring her or myself. "I'm not going anywhere." She relaxed a little, but kept watching me. Then I noticed the same faint metallic smell from the night before, only stronger now, drifting through the vents. Luna noticed it too. Her nose twitched as she sniffed the air, growing increasingly uneasy. At 9:47 a.m., my phone lit up with repeated incoming calls from Derek. 5 missed calls before I even swiped. On the 6th, I answered. The sound that came through wasn't his usual confident tone. It was a panicked, broken sob that raised every hair on my arms. Whatever had happened at the office, whatever Luna had kept me from, I was about to hear it. "Marcus, don't come here. Whatever you do, stay away." Derek's voice was strained, nothing like himself. Sirens echoed behind him, along with people shouting directions. "Derek, what's going on? Where's Sophia? Is she okay?" My voice shook with her name, and Luna pressed closer, whining. "They're all gone, Marcus. Everyone who came to the meeting, 23 people." He broke into sobs again. Someone in the background told him to sit and breathe. "What do you mean gone? That can't be real. How could 23 people just die?" My legs gave out, and I sat hard on the couch, gripping the phone. Derek took several unsteady breaths. I was late. My Tesla forced a software update and wouldn't let me drive. I was furious. Thought I'd missed the big announcement. When I got here at 9:30, the parking lot was full, but the building was silent. I walked in and saw Jake at his desk, but he wasn't right. He was sitting there with his eyes open, totally white, foam at his mouth. I heard him moving, probably pacing the way he always did under stress. I ran to the conference room. They were all there, Marcus. sitting around the table like they'd nodded off during the presentation, but their eyes were completely white and their skin had this blue shade. He continued, voice dull now. Facilities says it was carbon monoxide, the new heating system from last week. The contractor installed a valve backward. Instead of venting outside, exhaust went directly into our ventilation. The conference room is sealed for soundproofing, so it filled fast. They probably felt tired at first, maybe headaches. By the time they realized anything was wrong, they couldn't move. Paramedics said they were gone in under 20 minutes. Carbon monoxide. No smell, no color, no warning, except there had been something. The faint metallic scent Luna and I had noticed. It wasn't the gas itself, but likely a sign of the malfunction. Luna recognized danger and refused to let me walk into it. The system kicked on at 7:45, Derek said. Right before the meeting, the room turned into a sealed trap. He stopped, then I asked again, "Where's Sophia? You still haven't mentioned her." The silence that followed was so long I thought the call had ended. When he spoke, his voice was barely audible. "Marcus, she wasn't in the conference room. She was at your desk." My chest tightened. "What do you mean she was at my desk?" "She left the conference room at 8:10, he said quietly. Security footage shows her going to your workspace with your laptop. She tried to log you into the meeting remotely so it would look like you were there. She knew your passwords and used your computer. She was trying to protect you, even though you didn't show." The room felt like it tilted around me. Sophia died in my chair, at my desk, still trying to cover for me. She left the meeting to maintain my excuse, and that decision placed her in a different part of the office, just as dangerous, but isolated, where she died alone, probably confused, still trying to type as her vision faded. "The paramedics found her slumped over your desk," Derek said. "Your laptop was open to the video call. She'd logged in as you. If anyone in the room had still been conscious, they would have seen her on the screen." I dropped the phone. Derek kept talking about investigators, insurance, and notifications, but all I could think about was Sophia's last words. "I'm done being your safety net." She had left angry, thinking I chose my dog over her, and she still tried to shield me, even while hurt. Luna nudged the phone back toward me, and I picked it up with numb hands. Derek said they needed me to identify her body, that our parents were being contacted, that the office was closed indefinitely. But my focus stayed on Luna, the dog who had saved my life, even as everything else fell apart. 2 months later, I stood at Sophia's grave with Luna beside me, placing fresh sunflowers on the black granite. Sunflowers were her favorite, which always felt strangely out of place. Someone so practical shouldn't have been so drawn to something bright and optimistic, yet she was. She kept a fresh flower in a vase on her desk, replacing it weekly without fail. The investigator's report came out that morning, confirming what we already suspected. The heating contractor had installed a critical valve backward while rushing to meet our office's launch deadline. The conference room lacked carbon monoxide detectors because the building was old and exempt under prior safety codes. 23 people died due to a combination of negligence, outdated regulations, and unfortunate timing. Luna sat silently beside me, her head resting on the gravestone as she always did during visits. She whined softly once, then fell quiet. The grief counselor explained that dogs perceive death in their own way, and I believed it. Luna had saved me, but she couldn't save everyone. The weight of that reality seemed to rest on her shoulders as heavily as it did on mine. The lawsuit settlements left me financially secure in the worst possible way. Money from my sister's death, my co-workers' deaths, from a tragedy that should never have happened. I initially resisted accepting it, but my parents persuaded me to take it and use it for something meaningful. That's how the Sofia Rivera Foundation was created. We provided free carbon monoxide detectors and air quality monitoring systems to startups and small businesses that couldn't afford proper safety equipment. Within 8 weeks, we installed systems in 47 offices across Colorado. 3 of them had pre-existing gas leaks that nobody had detected. Luna accompanied me to every installation, and I started formally training her as a detection dog. German Shepherds have extraordinary noses, capable of detecting chemical changes humans can't. She had already alerted me to 2 other dangers besides gas leaks, including an electrical fire hazard that could have killed dozens. The hardest part was finding the letter Sophia had left in her desk. Investigators gave it to me with her personal belongings. Dated a week before she died, still in an unsealed envelope, it read, "Mark, I'm writing this because I'm too angry to say it to your face right now. You missed Dad's birthday dinner again. Mom cried, but I'll always cover for you because that's what family does. You're brilliant, but sometimes scared of your own shadow. Stop letting fear control you. Trust your instincts more. And for God's sake, trust Luna. That dog knows you better than you know yourself. She'd die for you. Make sure you live a life worthy of that devotion. Love, your annoying little sister. Always your safety net, even when you don't deserve it. P.S. I'm making you the beneficiary of my life insurance. Don't argue. If something happens to me, use it to help people. That's an order." She had known, maybe not about carbon monoxide specifically, but she understood life's fragility and prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. That was Sophia, practical, even in her love. I folded the letter carefully and returned it to my wallet, where I kept it always. Luna shook off the cemetery dirt and looked at me expectantly. We had 3 installations scheduled that afternoon: a pediatric clinic, a family restaurant, and a dog grooming salon. Small businesses that couldn't afford proper safety systems on their own. Before leaving, I knelt and pressed my hand against Sophia's headstone. "We saved 17 people last week," I whispered. A daycare leak Luna detected during a routine check. 17 kids went home safely because she was there, because Sophia made sure I listened to her. I'm trying to make it count. Soft. All of it. Luna barked once, sharp and clear, not a warning, but almost like agreement, as if she was telling Sophia we were doing our best. As we walked back to the car, I thought about the people who claimed everything happens for a reason. They were wrong. There was no reason good enough for 23 people to die at their desks. But maybe we could create meaning from meaningless loss. Luna jumped into the passenger seat, the same spot Sophia had during our morning commutes. Different companion, same mission: protect others. My phone buzzed with a text from a local news station requesting a follow-up story on the foundation. I declined. Sophia wouldn't have wanted attention. She'd just want the work done. If you found this story meaningful, subscribe to hear more real experiences that might save a life, and comment where you're watching from. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a risk everywhere, not just Colorado. Stay safe, and always trust your pets when they're trying to warn you.